Hello, welcome back. Um, I don't know what week this is, but as you can tell, I am in a different setting. If you look over here, look at that. Success. That's what I call it. Anyways, another week. Um, yeah, let's go. All right, so this week was kind of normal, to be honest. Really came off by the sell-off on Tuesday, which was a bit annoying. Then I kind of switched some stuff over, and then we basically would have ended the same if I hadn't changed my original position, but at the moment it's fine. So over here, you can see comparison from last week. We did beat last week by, we did it in positive, so that's good. And then here's our Nasdaq. So Nasdaq is the biggest one. We're underperforming at the moment. Um, like this week, it did gain 1.3%, which is a lot. And we did outperform most days except Tuesday, or Nasdaq Tuesday and one other day. And then over here, we are outperforming quite a lot, more than 54% of days, considering we are underperforming by like 2.7%. Now this margin isn't that big, so I'm not too worried. And really, in the near future, I think we should get closer to it. SPY, it's a bit easier to us for catch up, 0.6%, and really it's at 5%, so a bit less than 2% here. So I think it's, in the next couple of weeks we should be getting close to 5% and possibly outperforming. Over here we got Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is the lowest, 0.24 this week, and really, so we're only at 1% underperforming. So here you have all. So really Nasdaq's on top. So here we have the daily percent goal. So our goal is 0.17. This would be like 0.17. The idea is for this to be like, each quarter would be really ideal, but overall, 0.17 is good. And our overall is a lot higher than 0.17. It's just this quarter has been a bit slower. So over here, this is what I mean by Tuesday. Like if you would have taken out Tuesday, we would have been perfect this week. The problem was on Tuesday there was a big sell-off, not in tech but in other areas, and because I was mostly in smaller cap companies, I did take a big hit. So and then I was like, all right, we gotta switch that up. So switched it up, and now we are doing okay. So that's good. But as you can see, really, as I switched positions on Tuesday or on Wednesday, we started outperforming each day. So I'm hoping, we start going higher percentages. Pretty good on that. And then our mean profitable, I closed the on Tuesday the trade that was pretty high positive at one point, but really just synced. So I decided to close that off. So now that's at 40%. I mean, typically this number's around 60, 70. So considering now that it's lower and we're only underperforming by 2% and it's at 40%, that's it kind of shows good risk management, because you're only winning 40% of the time, but the times you lost, you're not losing that much. Like you lost 60% of the time and you're still only underperforming by 2%. So there's like the closing out on trades and all that. It's it's doing, like, it's well timed, correctly done, and that's how it's mostly supposed to be. If you have a higher number, that's great, but if you have a lower number and you're still doing pretty good, that's even better, because it shows that you correctly positioned your size on the good ones and you correctly left on the bad ones. So you knew when to leave, which is the good part. Over here, so the mean gain basically the same. Losses increased slightly. Standard deviation decreased. SPY decreased its gains, but did decrease its losses. So. And then over here you have smaller standard deviation. So our main goal, our difference is worse than last week's, slightly worse. It's almost the same, not too much. Transactions stayed the same, and then day trade, this is almost zero. There's only been one. And then overall portfolio at 3.12. So slight increase from last week. We got a couple more weeks. We're right now at, we have until mid-August, I'd say. So that's 3 more weeks. In the last 2 weeks, I might depending where we are, I might switch up some stuff, but I think at the moment we're fine. And if we're underperforming a little bit this quarter, outperforming, it's okay. My goal is just to be at 5%. So, oh, and this, I forgot to change it. I'll change it right now. This should be after transactions on costs, because the fees are different. As the first fee I have is 5%, like forever, and then the next is 50% on top of Spire performing. So this is transaction costs. So overall portfolio return after transaction costs. There we go. So yeah. So anyways, that's what I wanted to change there. And so if I hit 5% this quarter, and SPY is most likely going to be above 5, that's what it's looking at, then, I mean, I basically don't get a commission on the 50%, but the investors recover their original 5% fee. So that's good. We want to have positive returns or outperforming returns or both. So, yeah. I think next week, I think, I'm still here. I think next week. I need to double check that. Leave on the 30th, so that's 10 days. Yeah, so there's one more video here, and then the next video somewhere else, and then I think the next video is in the same place, and yeah. So one last time at the view. Damn.